This is John LeBaron with Chimney Check Professionals. This is the video portion of my inspection. This is the very top of the system. You can see the where the termination cap is basically not installed correctly over the flue. In fact, they damaged the bottom of the inner wall of the termination, and it's actually on the outside of the pipe as opposed to on the inside where it should be. It's one of those things where very likely what occurred is they just didn't, it looks like the chimney is a little too high. Basically, the chimney is generally supposed to be 2 inches lower than the top of the metal cover, or it's supposed to be above the metal cover. And that can be 2 inches lower to 12 inches depending on the termination being used. Really, without dismantling the components, I can't tell you exactly why this is installed incorrectly. All I can tell you is this is considered not acceptable by the manufacturer. This is not that difficult of a fix, but it does require a fix if we're going to meet the fire safety standards. The very top of the wood frame box, which the chimney is within, and this is a common with the outside fireplace as well. Keep in mind, I did not inspect the outside fireplace, but assuming they're both the same brand, they would have the same requirements for the chase cover. What that is a ventilated chase cover is what the manufacturer, Superior, actually under the umbrella of Lennox, requires. What that means is the chase cover is supposed to be raised above the wood framed chase by metal spacers, and then the chase cover is also supposed to be bigger than the box, the chase itself, by approximately an inch all the way around. Sometimes that requirement is half an inch. Regardless of what the requirement is, we're not meeting either half an inch or an inch. And then what that does is it allows ventilation of that chase cover. In other words, any excessive heat that may build up within the chase will escape, or in theory will escape. So that is a condition which, based on what I see, is required for both fireplaces. Obviously, I didn't inspect the outside fireplace. I'm not telling you that's the only error in the outside installation. That's just the one I can easily perceive when I look at it from the roof line area of the main house. And just because it's an outside fireplace does not lessen its installation requirements. Now with the video camera, based on looking at the chimney itself, the inner walls, excluding of course the very top that I mentioned above, I don't see any errors in the installation. A minor point, or two easy corrections, would be the gas line penetration doesn't have a proper seal. It's sort of kind of sealed, but not really. It's just a matter of sealing it with the appropriate material all the way around so that it is actually truly sealed. That right there is probably one of the most important items to actually adhere to in a fireplace installation. The reason for that is the wood framing is directly behind the fireplace, so the reason to seal this area appropriately is to stop the heat from passing through, which has a possibility, probably more possibility than a lot that I talk about. So again, it's an easy fix. There's no reason not to do it correctly. The log lighter is being supported by the log grate is being supported by the log lighter. So the log lighter is just not installed correctly. What it is the entry point for the gas line penetration is entering it at an angle up as opposed to horizontal. If it entered at horizontal, then it wouldn't be lifting it. So since it's entering at an angle, some sort of elbow is supposed to be here to cause the log lighter to be parallel so it's not supporting the actual log grate. That in time can actually cause a leak, a gas line leak behind the wall here. It's not some huge issue, but it is important to have a correct installation of the log lighter. And again, it's not a difficult fix, just like this one here. So the chase cover correction is really just a matter of replacement of the chase cover. That's not a horrible item to do. Probably the most difficult fix I'm going to be talking about is what is around the fireplace opening itself. When we have a fireplace, any fireplace that's prefabricated, that's masonry, there is a clearance requirement to combustibles that is required. And in this case, the manufacturer of the fireplace designates it along with the listing agency that they use. The material behind this finish is actually drywall. Drywall is combustible. There may or may not be wood behind those materials as well. If wood is behind those materials, then those would be incorrect as well. The manufacturer has a specific requirement, a distance from combustibles above the opening and to the sides of the opening. What we have here violates those requirements, and they consider it fire safety, so it's one of those things where it's a code requirement, it's a manufacturer's requirement, and it's for fire safety. A little more investigation will be needed to determine exactly what the correction is needed. At a minimum, the drywall needs to be removed. When the drywall is removed, then one can see if there's wood behind the drywall, or if there's other combustibles there, and then appropriate measures will be taken from that point on. Ensure you review my written report for all my findings and recommendations.